Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. You talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I'm so sorry that I didn't post a video yesterday. As you guys may know already, most of you guys may know already, my wife and I are expecting our first child in the next couple of days. We thought that we were having some contractions yesterday, so we just had to go to the hospital and get that checked out. And that's where I want to start this video off today. After today's video, I will be taking a little break from the podcast just so I can focus on her and our new baby that she is about to give birth to in the next couple of days. I hope you guys can understand that. I just want to thank you guys so much for the constant support and messages that you guys have been sending me in regards to not only my wife, but our new baby that is on the way in the next couple of days. I will be back. I'm pushing towards coming back week 1 of the NFL season, but like always, make sure you keep hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you keep sharing the channel with every Bears fan that you know. Because like I already mentioned, if you guys already don't know, at 5,000 subscribers, I will be doing a massive giveaway of a Darnell Mooney signed jersey and a Cole Kmet signed mini helmet. So once the podcast gets to 5,000 subscribers, I will come on here and gift those prizes to some very lucky Keek on the Mic listeners. And those prizes are just a testament of the support and love that you guys been showing me. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm hooking you guys up with the best prizes possible for helping me get to a huge milestone of 5,000 subscribers. So once again, thank you guys so much for all the support. But this will be my last video once again for a while, since I am welcoming my new baby into this world. So, the report out of Chicago is this. And obviously, this is supposed to be yesterday's report, but I'm going to do it today here on the podcast. The report out of Chicago is this. Former quarterback already calling Luke Getsy an upgrade over Matt Nagy. And obviously, the Chicago Bears played in their first preseason game on Saturday versus the Chiefs, where they won by a score of 19-14. And we saw a lot of good things in that game, especially from the Chicago Bears rookies. I know that was like the highlight of the whole game, is how well, by just one game, Ryan Poles drafted, not only in the draft, but in undrafted free agency as well. Some of the rookies that really performed well is undrafted rookie Jack Sanborn had 7 total tackles, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, and 1 pass deflection. And that was the story today. Jack Sanborn, undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin. I believe he went to Lake Forest High School. He was the big story of the day. Everyone was really excited about what he brought to the table, especially with all the Roquan Smith drama. It was nice to see a young linebacker step up. I know it was preseason, but he stepped up in a big way, not only on the defense side of the ball, but special teams as well. Treston Ebner had 96 all-purpose yards and a touchdown, looked really good. There was a play where he was in open space. He made a nasty juke on one of the Kansas City Chiefs defenders, and that was really nice to see. Jaquan Brisker, obviously, had 4 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass defense. He was all over the place. And the way that the Chicago Bears are planning to use him, you can already see how they're going to use him only in 1 preseason game. But Jaquan Brisker, guys, he may be the real deal. Obviously, Dominique Robinson had 1 sack. Obviously, you could tell that he's a high-motor guy. It was really nice to see him play, get some solid reps on the defense side of the football. And then, of course, Braxton Jones. Obviously, he was the starting left tackle for this football game. And, hey, he definitely held his own. Obviously, he still has a long way to go. But after 1 game playing with the starters, obviously not all the starters on the Kansas City Chiefs defense were available, but for the most part, he held his own. He looked very good. So, Ryan Poles, kudos to you. After 1 game, your draft class looks very solid, and we can even consider that we were missing Kyler Gordon, Velus Jones, 2 of his top picks. So, obviously, they're going to plan to play on Thursday against the Seattle Seahawks. So, I'm super excited about Ryan Poles' first rookie draft class as they performed well in the first game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And though it was great to see all these rookies perform at a high level, everyone was there to watch Justin Fields. And obviously in a couple of series, Fields went 4 for 7, 48 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He also had 1 rush for 10 yards. And obviously one of the highlights of the day was Fields to Mooney for a 26-yard gain. Everybody was super jazzed to see that connection kind of come to life. Obviously the offense only got a couple of series, but Fields played well. I liked what I saw. I know obviously it was one preseason game, but overall Fields looked good in the little action that he got. And obviously one preseason game can't really generate much of how much Fields has progressed until we can see him play more. Obviously this week on Thursday against the Seattle Seahawks, I can maybe anticipate that the Bears starters will probably play a half of football, maybe, and maybe sit the very final game. I'm not sure what Luke Getsy and Matt Eberflus have in store for the starting offense, but I definitely want to see more. But the big question going into this year was the switch between Matt Nagy and Luke Getsy. That's what everyone wanted to see as early as the first preseason game. And obviously when you look at Matt Nagy, left behind arguably one of the worst offensive legacies in Chicago Bears history. And that's super hard to do because the Bears have had a lot of crappy offenses over the year. So we have talked about this a lot, but that's why we're all excited to see the changes that Luke Getsy was bringing to this offense. And even though it was the first preseason game, former Bears quarterback Jim Miller has watched the offense's progress throughout training camp. Then he called the action in the preseason opener against the Chiefs. He can already tell Getsy will be much better for Justin Fields based on the increased balance. This is what Miller told Brad Biggs of the Chicago Tribune in a recent interview. It's a different emphasis, Miller said, and there's a lot of carryover. Andy Reid is West Coast, but he's about 70-30 pass versus the run, and he's kind of always been that way. This is going to be a more run-based, more Ram style, more Minnesota style. The 49ers and Kyle Shanahan, they use fullback Kyle Juszczyk a lot. They do a lot of 12, one running back to wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Even look in Green Bay last year. The Packers were second in the NFL in 12 personnel. Nagy would have chucked it every down. He couldn't control himself. No offense. I love the guy. You've got to do what is best to protect the young quarterback, whether it was Mitch Trubisky or this guy, and it's got to be run-based first. Interesting. And obviously, Miller is absolutely right. Getsy has maintained, in just that one preseason game, it looked like Luke Getsy maintained a very good balance with the first team offense. Obviously, when you look at Justin Fields, Fields dropped back to pass a total of 10 times. He threw 7 passes, scrambled once, and was sacked twice. The other 8 snaps he played were handoffs to Khalil Herbert and Equanimeous St. Brown, and that is a great run-to-pass ratio. And Fields' numbers weren't anything really special, but he didn't turn the ball over, which is good, and 2 of his incompletions were dropped by Khalil Herbert. So he operated the offense well, and that's what we needed to see, and obviously Luke Getsy was very pleased. I think Luke Getsy said the only problem that he had with Fields' reps is that he took off on that scramble too soon. I think he had a read that he could have hit someone in the flat or something like that, and he took off too early. That was the only thing that Luke Getsy saw, but overall, Luke Getsy was very pleased with Justin Fields' performance. So going back to Miller's comments, he is correct. Matt Nagy, and we all know this already, because we talk a lot of crap about Matt Nagy and how he had no identity and how his inabilities to call offense was hurting his players. If Matt Nagy was still in charge, he would have Fields trying to fling the football everywhere. Like Miller said in his comments, in the Andy Reid offense, they can't help themselves. It's always 70-30 pass to run ratio. They love to throw the football, and that's just their system. But what Luke Getsy is bringing over, and you understand that Luke Getsy won't do that, he is going to help Fields by adjusting the system to his strengths, which we talked about this a lot, and you can already tell in one preseason game how much difference the offense is going to look like from Luke Getsy compared to Matt Nagy. There's going to be more rollouts, more bootlegs. Bootlegs are getting him on the move with the steady dose of running the football, because obviously in this West Coast scheme, you have to be able to run the football. Obviously, the offensive line is still a work in progress, so the offensive line can improve. They can block a little bit better. That's how the offense will be able to function a lot more efficiently. But overall, in the West Coast scheme, you need to be able to run the football, but it's going to be balanced. Luke Getsy's not going to leave Justin Fields back there to die. He's going to put him and his other players in the best situations to succeed. And you can already tell in one preseason game that it's a whole lot different from what Matt Nagy was doing in Chicago. So Bears fans, I just got to say this one thing before I let you guys go. The Chicago Bears offense finally has an identity for themselves. And as they continue to mesh, obviously, let's hope good things continue to happen. Obviously, we didn't get to see a lot of the first team offense. Hopefully that changes this Thursday against the Seahawks, where hopefully they get a little bit more reps. Maybe they'll play a half, maybe not. We'll see what happens on Thursday. But the more reps they get, and Luke Getsy said this in his interview, more live game reps, the better for the Chicago Bears offense, especially the starting offense. So overall, I liked what I saw from Justin Fields. I'm even more happy about the situation that Luke Getsy is going to put Justin Fields in, because it's going to help Justin Fields improve. We've been talking about this a lot. I truly feel that Luke Getsy is the right guy, but obviously we need to see more. But obviously after one preseason game, I'm very pleased so far with the direction that this Chicago Bears offense is heading in. So I'm super excited to see what happens in the future for Justin Fields and this Chicago Bears offense. So let me ask you guys this, Bears fans. How impressed were you with the very first preseason game for the Chicago Bears offense and Justin Fields? Do you see any difference from Matt Nagy compared to Luke Getsy? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I leave you guys here, one last time, I just want to remind you guys once again that this will be my last video until about week 1 of the NFL season. I hope you guys can understand. And just make sure you keep hitting that subscribe button and the bell notification so we can get the podcast to 5,000 subscribers, so I can give out that signed Darnell Mooney jersey and that signed Cole Kmet helmet to some very lucky and loyal Keek on the Mic listeners. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
Riding with country bear. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't